Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 13th, and we're going to be talking about interviewing skills. My name is Daisha Thomas. I work for the Mayor's Office of Employment Development and the Community Job Hubs located on York Road. I'm going to be introducing my partner, Miss India. Hey, India, I don't think we can hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm here. My machine was on mute. How's everyone doing? My name is India Brown. I'm a career development facilitator for MOED. I work at the Workforce Reception Center.
All right, so let's get started today. Select centers are offering limited on-site services by appointment only. The Baltimore City Mayor's Office of Employment Development is welcoming job seekers by appointment at the Eastside One Stop Career Center, which is located at 3001 East Madison Street. Also, Northwest One Stop Career Center, which is located, I believe it's like right in Mondawmin Mall, and that's at 2401 Liberty Heights Avenue. And also the Yo Opportunity Center over at 1510 West Lafayette Avenue. The numbers are right there on the screen. Reminders, masks must be worn at all times. Social distancing practices, please. Sign in and a temperature check is required before you can enter the building. Remote services still available, so you can still reach us at moed.baltimorecity.gov to learn more.
Here's some MOED updates. Services are still being offered remotely. Jobs are still posted on Maryland Workforce Exchange. You can see the link below. Also check the Now Hiring job board.
So why are interviews even important? It's an important step in the hiring process. So usually after you submit your resume and they get a kind of a feel for who you are, they want to get a chance to speak to you to kind of validate if you're going to be the right person for that company. A chance for employers to assess your suitability for a job, organizational culture, and whether you fit in, and is also being determined at that time. So, everybody is not the right fit for every job culture. Employers get to know you beyond your resume. So even though your resume, it tells them about where you worked, but they want to hear maybe just a little bit more, and they want to know why you want this particular job and why you want to work for this particular company. Interviews also give the job seeker the chance to see if this job is for them. It may be once you get a chance to hear a little bit more about the job, this may not be exactly what you're looking for. I mean, you may have childcare concerns. They may say that, overtime is mandatory and it's required and it's often.
Interview preparation, position research. Make sure you research the position before you even apply. Know more about the company. What does the company offer? What are your expectations? And also see if you can find out who the interviewer is. Create a cheat sheet. Have notes for yourself and also questions for the employer. Make sure you have your documents prepared. Have copies of your resume, cover letters, and also your reference sheet. Ensure your transportation will get you to the interview 30 minutes early. Make sure you clean up your social media profiles. I know in today's day and age, a lot of people are very heavy on social media. So make sure your social media is presentable for businesses because they do check.
These are all great things. Yes, and I always tell people, make sure you know exactly where the place is. I've had some customers go to the interview spot the day before just so they know where it is and how the parking situation is.
That's definitely a good idea.
Phone interviews. Find a quiet room. So you see me in India today, we had to do some juggling so that we could find a quiet spot. We don't get disturbed so that we can talk to you guys. Try to limit all your distractions. So your kids, make sure that, they fed, they have something to do for a little bit of time that you're going to be on the phone. Charge your phone or have a charger handy. Have notes to refer to. Also take notes as you go. because you want to make sure that you're not asking a question that they've already answered in the interview. Stand up and smile. You should sound more positive and energetic. You don't want to sound like you're in the bed or you're laying down or you're preoccupied. Be concise and to the point. Make sure that you listen to exactly what they're saying and that you answer all of the question. Sometimes I go a little overboard, but I always try to make sure I answer all the points of the question. Answer the questions without rambling.
And if you have issues with the questions that are being asked, just ask them to reiterate it if you need some more clarity on the question, so it won't be like you bouncing all around in circles.
That is true.
Face-to-face interviews. Plan to arrive at the interview approximately 30 minutes early. Don't just place your phone on silent. Turn it off for the next 30 minutes. No gum, candy, or mints during the interview. It's a distraction. Also, please be ready to discuss your experiences that are relevant to the job requirements. So make sure you know the job requirements before you go on the interview so that you can present yourself in the best manner that you can and show them that you already have experience and you are what they are looking for.
That's right. More on face-to-face interviews. Keep answers short and to the point. Speak clearly with no slang. So just try to make sure that you're not saying a lot of ahs, you know what I mean, because that's just not for the interview. Body posture is crucial. So make sure that you're sitting up, no slouching or cross legs. Smile and be polite. You want to seem friendly. You want to seem approachable. Listen intently. Take notes if you must. Get a card from each person you talk to. I'm sure this is something we're going to mention today, but I'm sure we've mentioned in other presentations. It's not a bad thing to send a thank you note.
Panel interviews. Panel interviews are performed with several interviewers at one time. Introduce yourself, shake hands, and make eye contact with each person. Make notes of each interviewer's name on a cheat sheet. Using their name successfully will be a big benefit. When responding, make sure to address each interviewer. Get a card from each person and follow up with a thank you email. It's always good to tell them thank you. It's even better if it's a personal message from yourself.
Video interviews. Prepare like a normal interview. So make sure that you're in a quiet location, your computer and everything is charged. You know how to get onto Zoom or the WebEx or whatever device that they're using so that you can be on time and not have any technical difficulties. Get familiar with the platform beforehand. Find a good spot. Natural light works best. Avoid overhead lights. Eliminate distractions. Use headphones if possible.
And it's best to prepare for the video interview ahead of time. Just like a regular interview, you would get there 30 minutes ahead of time. With the video ones, I would say around the same amount of time because you never know what technical difficulties you're going to run into. Video interviews. Dress professionally. Have notes handy. Main talking points to emphasize. Questions for the interviewer. Very important. Make sure you make eye contact. Look into the camera, not yourself on the screen.
Mock interviews. And like we said at the beginning of the presentation, we are still available remotely. So if you ever want to do a mock interview with any of us, that's something that can be scheduled. That's something that can be scheduled in person. It also is something that can be scheduled over the phone, and we can do a video interview with you, just to kind of give you an idea of how that looks. Practice in everything makes perfect. Or you can practice with someone in your family, just to see how you're going to look on screen, to see if this is the right shirt you want to use, or how you're dressed or how your hair is fixed. Find industry-specific mock interview questions to get familiar. It gives you a chance to rehearse your elevator pitch, because your elevator pitch is that first thing that you want to say when they say, "Tell me about yourself." You're talking about yourself professionally, and you want to give them a very quick snapshot of yourself professionally. Get more comfortable answering questions using the S.T.A.R method. Receive immediate feedback and critiques from the mock interviewer. Gain confidence in answering questions and selling your skills. Oh, okay. So I think we have a question in regards to thank you notes. So what's recommended is 24 to 48 hours after the interview. Great question.
Body language. Please pay attention to any unflattering mannerisms. Biting your nails, scowling while thinking, or nervous tapping. For me, I know when I'm nervous, I either play with my fingertips or tap my pen continuously. Make sure you're positive. The best way to portray good body language is to approach the interview with a positive attitude. We are big on vibes. You can pick up when someone is not in a good mood, if they're having a bad day, if they have a negative energy. That's not the energy you want to give off when you go into an interview. When you feel positive, you will naturally relax and smile more, thus making you appear more confident and appealing to the interviewers.
And you know what? I know sometimes a lot of things or life happens right before the interview, unfortunately. But you ever heard the saying like fake it till you make it? Go in there, put a fake smile on yourself and just, fake it till you make it because this is a job you really want and this is a job you really need. You're gonna have to fake it a little bit. You're gonna have to fake your enthusiasm just a little bit. just a
Well,
little bit to get the job because if that's important to you, if
you need it.
yeah.
Or if you get there the 30 minutes early like you're supposed to, you can try to change your mindset, think of something more positive, get it together.
Right. Tell me about yourself. So the elevator pitches save the day. Don't tell your life story. You need a 30-second commercial or introduction to who you are and what you do. Depending on how many job lives you've had, industries you've worked in, you will have an introduction for each. Write them down. Read it aloud to yourself until you like what you hear. Practice it and be ready to introduce yourself in this way. Practice it with a friend. Call our offices and schedule an appointment and practice it with one of us. We will give you pointers along to the way to let you know what to. I know sometimes people slip in a lot of personal information, and I say, well, you can just omit that. You don't have to talk about that. You can just talk about, I just try to get them to just kind of say clear, concise, and on the point of why you need this job and why you're the best person to pick. If they're only picking one person, why they should pick you.
Mm-hmm. Elevator pitch construction. Keep it short. Don't tell your whole life story, as the other slide said.
Mm-hmm.
Be confident but not arrogant. Introduce yourself. Describe what you do. Talk about how you solve problems. Why should the employer care? Include examples or statistics to quantify in with what you're looking for.
Elevator pitch example. I have a decade's worth of experience in warehousing, working primarily with packaging and logistics. I'm certified to use a forklift and have operated a cherry picker for over 5 years. I'd be thrilled to bring my experience and knowledge to your company.
S.T.A.R responses for interview questions. S. Situation. There was the time that I worked at ABC Gadgets. Task. T. I was asked to look at the company's online project file system, which was disorganized and hard to use. A is for action. I analyzed the system and reorganized it so information was more logically arranged and easier to find. Results. I made coworkers work easier, would save time, and allowed them to serve customers more effectively.
And believe me, in an interview, you're going to get a question like that where it's going to ask you to describe a situation, how you handle the situation, and the resolution for that situation. So that is a perfect example of how you would use that STAR method to answer a question like that in an interview. Tough interview questions. Tell me about overcoming an obstacle. Use the STAR methodology that India just talked about. Why should I hire you? Discuss your experience and skills relevant to the job posting and requirements. Why did you leave your last job? Talk about looking for new challenges. Don't ever bash your old employers. Don't say you didn't like it. I always say I'm looking for a new opportunity, seeking new opportunities, things like that. Just keep it very light. Just keep it very positive.
Yeah, I always say to gain more knowledge, to broaden my horizon. Tough interview questions. What are your weaknesses? We never want to talk about weaknesses, but realistically, we all have them. Talk about a time you realized you needed to brush up on your skills and the steps you took to improve them. Criminal background questions. Be honest. Focus on the lessons learned. Put it behind you. Because please be sure they will know.
Right.
You haven't worked for a long time. Why not? You may have gaps in employment for many reasons. Speak confidently about your experiences during the gaps. Some could transfer to on the job skills.
That's true because sometimes people have taken gaps to take care of parents or children, and a lot of times, a lot of the skills that you gain from that could be transferable into the workforce. So,
Absolutely.
speak honestly about that. Do you have any questions for me? Ask the interviewer to discuss a day in the life of this new hire. That's an excellent question because you want to kind of know what the day would look like for you. And this is the information for you to decide if this is the right fit for you. You may want to know why this position is available. Whether the previous person was fired or promoted tells you a lot. Inquire about the next steps in the hiring process. Discuss the methods and timeframes for you to follow up. I always try to tell customers not to really ask for the pay because that should have been specified somewhere in the when you apply for the position. I say you really I encourage them not to ask for the pay unless it's just never mentioned.
Mhm.
Then it's like you want to kind of get a range of what it could be because I think usually sometimes HR may decide exactly what your pay would be.
Right. Interview follow up. Send a follow up email within 24 hours. As we already discussed, 24 to 48 hours. A handwritten note is even better. Address main topics discussed in the interview. Remind interviewer of your fit and skill match. Briefly discuss topics or points you meant to mention in the interview. Focus on now, follow up only as discussed. Remember, be careful with social media. The employer may still be watching. Keep your social media clean until you've been employed for 4 months.
And even sometimes after that,
Yes.
keep it private.
Keep it private.
If it's a lot of stuff going on
Keep it
afterward,
private.
keep it private. And do not befriend a whole lot of coworkers, supervisors, things like that. Keep your private life private.
Yes. Keep it away from work life.
My 2 cents. So you're going to prepare a resume. Um, what do I want to do, and where do I want to work? You're going to network. You're going to use Facebook, LinkedIn, and any other social media aspects. You're going to apply. You're going to adjust the keywords. These are things that we've talked about in every one of our presentations. Always adjust your keywords for what is actually in the job posting. Apply and follow up after the interview. And if you have an email on the posting, send something directly to the person and let them know that how interested you are in the position.
MOED Facebook Live on the ones. States Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. We have job preparation and readiness workshops. Wednesdays at 1, we have MOD, virtual recruitments, and job club.
All right, if you need further assistance, the assistance request form link probably will be provided at the bottom of the screen, but you can go on MOED. You can just Google MOED Baltimore City and you can find that link. And then we are able to assist you with resume assistance, interview preparation, referrals to employers, technical job application assistance, training information, and career guidance.
Are there any questions? I think we addressed the two questions that we did have.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're just going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Thank everybody for participating and sitting in on this presentation. Make sure you take notes and take screenshots. And everybody have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.